Once a year, the Nightmare Circus rolled into the small town of Willow Creek, bringing with it a chilling aura that sent shivers down the spines of the residents. The circus was known for its haunting performances and eerie atmosphere, but it was the trio of clowns that terrified the townspeople the most. The first clown, Jingles, was a tall and lanky figure with sharp, exaggerated features painted on his porcelain face. He moved with an unsettling grace, his shadow looming large over anyone who dared to approach him. His eyes were hollow voids that seemed to stare into the depths of one's soul, instilling a deep sense of dread in all who laid eyes on him. The second clown, Giggles, was the complete opposite of Jingles. Short and round, with a face smeared in garish makeup that only served to accentuate his twisted grin. Giggles' laughter echoed through the circus grounds like a sinister melody, each chuckle sending a chill down the spines of those who heard it. He was known for his cruel pranks and malevolent tricks, his presence a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked within the circus. The third clown, Whisper, was the most mysterious of them all. Dressed in tattered rags and a mask that resembled a skeletal face, Whisper never spoke a word. Instead, he communicated through eerie whispers that seemed to drift on the wind, his voice a haunting presence that lingered long after he had passed by. His movements were silent and swift, his presence a foreboding omen that struck fear into the hearts of the spectators. On the eve of the circus's arrival, a young woman named Amelia found herself drawn to the mysterious allure of the Nightmare Circus. Despite the warnings of the townspeople, she ventured to the outskirts of Willow Creek, where the towering tents of the circus loomed in the moonlit night. A sense of unease gnawed at her as she made her way through the deserted grounds, the haunting calliope music growing louder with each step. As she approached the main tent, a figure emerged from the shadows, Jingles, the towering clown with hollow eyes. He beckoned her forward with a crooked finger, a silent invitation to enter the nightmare that awaited within. Amelia hesitated, fear clawing at her heart, but an unexplained curiosity drove her to follow the clown into the depths of the circus. The interior of the circus tent was a labyrinth of twisted corridors and shadowed alcoves, the air thick with the scent of decay and anticipation. The otherworldly sounds of the performers echoed through the darkness, each note a sinister melody that seemed to seep into Amelia's very soul. She felt as though she had stepped into a nightmare, a waking dream from which she could not escape. As she wandered through the maze-like passages, she caught glimpses of Giggles and Whisper, their twisted forms flitting in and out of her peripheral vision like phantoms. Their presence sent a wave of terror crashing over her heart pounding in time with the ominous drumbeat that filled the air. Amelia knew then that she had stumbled into something far more sinister than a mere circus. She had entered a realm of darkness and despair. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air, tearing through the shroud of silence that enveloped the circus. It was a cry of pure agony, a soul-rending sound that chilled Amelia to the bone. Against her better judgment, she followed the sound, her footsteps echoing in the empty corridors as she raced towards the source of the chilling scream. She emerged into a dimly lit chamber, the flickering light of a single lantern casting eerie shadows across the room. In the center stood Jingles, his porcelain face contorted into a mask of malevolent glee as he loomed over a figure huddled on the floor. It was a young boy, his eyes wide with terror as he cowered beneath the towering clown's grasp. Amelia's heart raced as she realized the true horror of the Nightmare Circus. The clowns were not mere performers, but sinister beings who fed on the fear and suffering of their victims. And now, she had unwittingly become a part of their twisted game. With a surge of courage born of desperation, she lunged at Jingles, her hands clawing at his painted face in a desperate bid to save the boy. But the clown was faster, his grip like iron as he flung her aside with a cruel laugh. As she hit the ground, the darkness swallowed her whole, dragging her into a nightmarish void of pain and terror. When she awoke, it was to a scene of chaos and devastation. The circus grounds were deserted, the tents in tatters, and the calliope music silent. But the clowns were nowhere to be seen, their presence nothing more than a lingering nightmare that haunted the memories of those who had witnessed their dark performance. As she stumbled out of the ruins of the Nightmare Circus, Amelia knew that she had narrowly escaped a fate worse than death. The clowns may have vanished into the shadows, but their legacy of terror would live on in the nightmares of those who had dared to step foot into their twisted realm. And so, the legend of the Nightmare Circus and its 3 clown horrors would continue to lurk in the shadows, a chilling reminder of the darkness that dwells within us all. And for those who dared to seek out the circus and its malevolent performers, the price of curiosity would be a descent into madness and despair that could never be escaped. In the end, Amelia knew that the Nightmare Circus was a place best left forgotten, a nightmare from which she had barely escaped with her sanity intact. But the haunting memory of the clowns would linger on, a spectral presence that whispered of horrors yet to come in the shadows of the world. And for those who heard their eerie call, the nightmare would never truly end.